Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be evaluating expressions. The notes that I do, the problems that I do here will be from pages 30 and 31, and the assignment that goes with this will be one page, page 33. I think you're going to find this one is not too bad. The first thing that we need to understand to evaluate expressions is going to be the substitution property. So the substitution property just says that if we know two values, x and y, and we say that x and y are equal to each other, then we can then x can be substituted in place of y, or y can be substituted in place of x. We can just take it out and put that other value in because we know that they're equal to each other. So the steps that we're going to be using on each of these example problems: first, I will draw a set of parentheses around each variable in the expression, equation, or inequality that I'm given. And then I will substitute in the values that I'm given for each variable. And once I've done that, I will just simplify using the order of operations. So let's get to our examples. This should be a fast one. So I went ahead and made just about the easiest possible expression that I could begin with. And let's take a look. So I was given a plus b. My job is to figure out what a plus b is equal to. Now, we are going to do that if a is equal to a 1 and b is equal to a 2. The first step that I'm going to do is I am going to put parentheses around each of my variables. Then I'm going to empty those parentheses and replace the variable with the value that I was given in its place. Since a is equal to 1, I'll take out the a. I'm going to put a 1 in its place. I'm going to take out the b, and I'm going to put a 2 in its place. And now that I've done that, I'm going to simplify this as much as possible. The problem 1 plus 2 comes out equal to 3, and I have successfully simplified this as much as I possibly can. Let's take a look at some more complicated examples. So the parentheses that I put in at the very beginning are really important. A lot of students will forget to put the parentheses in, or they won't work things out appropriately. So first, I put a parenthesis around a, I put a parenthesis around b. That exponent is still outside of it, and I put a parenthesis around c. I'm going to empty the parentheses. A times b squared plus c. And I'm going to replace each of those variables with the given value. A is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to 7. Now I'll use the order of operations to solve this, which means I'm going to start with exponents. So I have 2 times 16 plus 7. Multiplication comes before addition. That's going to give me 32 plus 7. And finally, 32 plus 7 is going to be 39. Let's continue. Now, I chose this example because of this situation right here. It's a real common mistake that students make, especially when we're substituting in negative numbers. You want to make sure you use the parentheses correctly. So that negative right there actually represents negative 1 times y squared is the best way to think about it. I'm going to keep the 3, keep the x, keep the y. Here we go. Now I'm going to rewrite, emptying those parentheses. So I have negative 1 times y squared minus 3 times x times y. And let's substitute in the appropriate values. Since y is equal to 2, I'm going to put a 2 here, and I'm going to put a 2 here, replacing both y's, and I put in my negative 4. Let's follow the order of operations, which is exponents here. So I have 2 squared is 4, so that's negative 1 times 4 minus 3 times negative 4 times 2. And let's continue to simplify. That's negative 4 plus 12 times 2, negative 4 plus 24, and finally that is going to give me a solution of 20. I'm going to turn my page. I just have a couple more quick examples for you guys like this. Each one's got a little bit of a different flavor from your assignment. In fact, I only have 2 more examples. Now this one looks substantially more complicated, but it is the exact same process. I'm going to take out each variable and replace, first I'll empty my equation. So I have x squared minus 2 times the difference x minus y minus z to the third. Let's fill those in appropriately. So my x is 2, and I'm going to put that in 2 places. My y is negative 2, and now that one we got to watch the double negatives are going to incur there. We're going to have to rewrite so that there is just a plus sign there in a moment. And then I am going to put a negative 3 here. So let's start simplifying. Order of operations says start with exponents. I have 2 sets of exponents. 2 squared is the same as 2 times 2. So I have 4 minus 2. I have 2 plus 2 minus, and now negative 3 cubed. That's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. I'm going to note that for you here because this is a common mistake. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. That's going to be 9 times negative 3. So I have a minus 27. Let's simplify a little further. 4 minus 2 times 4 plus 27. 4 minus 8 plus 27. And now that's just simplifying it a little further. That's going to be a negative 4 plus 27. And my final answer should be a positive 23. I have one final example for you. Again, I put parentheses around every variable. I'm going to empty those parentheses. Minus 1 times a squared minus 2 times b times c minus the absolute value of c. Let's substitute in the appropriate values. A is negative 3. I have negative 3. B is negative 5. C, which I'm going to put in 2 places, is 2. Now, I note in that last example, I kind of mixed up my order of operation steps, didn't explain myself as well, so I'm going to be real thorough with this one. First of all, absolute value actually qualifies as a set of parentheses, which is the first thing we should figure out. The absolute value of 2 is 2, so I'm going to rewrite. I have negative 1 times a negative 3 squared minus 2 times negative 5 times 2 minus 2. Let's go next to our exponent, and like that previous problem, negative 3 squared, that's negative 3 times negative 3. And negative 3 times negative 3 makes a positive 9. So negative 1 times 9 minus 2 times negative 5 times 2 minus 2. The next operation I see will be multiplication. I've got it in 2 places, so I might as well take care of them at the same time. Negative 1 times 9, and let's do negative 2 times negative 5 as well. That's going to give me a negative 9 plus 10 times 2 minus 2. One more multiplication problem. I have a negative 9 plus 20 minus 2. And let's see, negative 9 plus 20, that's going to make a 11 minus 2. And finally, 11 minus 2 is going to give me 9 as my final solution. So every problem on this assignment is done in this fashion. If you have questions, bring them to me for our Jamboard and for our Google Meet.